We'll begin this evening's program with remarks from graduating MBA Noah Levin, who was chosen by a committee of his peers to represent them this evening. Please join me in welcoming Noah Levin to the podium.
Good evening, Ross, class of 2012. You know, from up here, you guys are making those robes look good. It's just amazing. 20 months ago, we sat together in Blau Auditorium for the first time as a class. We heard from the dean. We embarrassed ourselves at Ross Got Talent. We went to our first class. And then we woke up, and it was over. So here we are, together one last time. And a question comes to mind. Was it all worth it? All that time, all that money, all those group meetings? Well, tonight, let's answer that question the only way we MBAs know how, by going back to those long-forgotten core classes. Let's dust off the frameworks, open up the toolkits, and decide if getting our MBA was the right decision after all. So let's be like good MBAs and start from a finance perspective and take the NPV, shall we? I'll give you all a moment to open your laptops. Good. Now, what have your cash flows been like for the last 2 years? Yeah, lots of operating expenses, not so many revenues. Tuition was big, but only the beginning. There were club memberships for things we're no longer interested in. Hundreds of dollars sent through PayPal, late night burritos at BTB, breakfast burritos at Siegel Cafe, rent, beer, Amtrak, beer. But here we are at the inflection point. Our first paycheck is on the horizon. At a growth rate, copy and paste it for 30 or 40 years, discounted at the WAC. Seems like a positive MPV project to me. But we are Michigan MBAs, and we know there is more to life than finance. So what did we learn in management and organizations, that great soft skills class that we can bring to bear today? Well, we learned the attribution fallacy, one of the most important things a manager can know. Now, to review, if it went well, I was responsible. If it went poorly, the kid from Kellogg was responsible. MO also taught us the importance of networks. Now, this part's not a joke. Look around this room. These people are going places. And when they do, when you do, everyone here is just one go blue away from a whole world of opportunity. We're all rainmakers. And when we disperse across the planet tomorrow, this entire globe becomes our very own winter garden. Okay, so time is short. I should get through a few lessons quickly. Marketing. Each of us is now a premium product, commanding a higher price, branded and quality assured by U of M. Let's go stimulate demand and always remember the big picture. Statistics. We are a small, non-random sample chosen from a very large population. We are not normally distributed. We can get a little heteroscedastic, but we do not regress to the mean, and most of all, we know that we are, statistically speaking, very lucky to be here. Microeconomics. Business school is a sunk cost. Why are we still talking about it? Operations. Our MBA is a buffer against the variability of life. People who live in paper houses shouldn't throw scissors. And you can never, never have too many Kiwani dumpers. Accounting. Hire a good accountant. Finally, there is strategy. Now, as any strategy professor will tell you, strategy is the most important subject. So, let's get right down to it. Business school. Good decision or bad decision? How would you answer that if you were cold called on the first day of class? No, it depends. Well, first we'd have to read, or at least skim, the HBS case study on our lives. They would talk in elevated prose about all the things we gave up to come to business school, how we bravely left our jobs and paychecks and friends and families and cities and countries behind and moved to a little town called Ann Arbor, 6 square miles surrounded by reality. It would include lots of rich detail. That time you got dinged by your dream company. That time you got the offer. Grown-up nights on Main Street and juvenile nights on South U. Watching Michigan beat Ohio State. And this moment now. And the case write-up on your life would end with that same dramatic question. Was it all worth it? Did I make the right choice going to business school? And we'd debate it, and Karnani would tell us we're wrong. And the answer, it turns out, would be that it's too soon to know. We have no data on what happens next. There's no appendix that charts out our lives in one-year increments and tells us which key metrics to benchmark ourselves against and calculates our personal CAGR for the decades to come. So that's the point. Starting tomorrow, we decide what metrics to live our lives by. And we get to make a daily effort to meet our targets, to make ourselves and our classmates proud, and to make the whole thing worth it. And I would argue that Ross has given us all the frameworks, all the tools, the networks, the opportunities, the discipline, the collaborative spirit, and the confidence that we need to look back in a few decades and say, yeah, it was worth it. In the meantime, at least we got to have one last review session before our big final exam. The one where we all go get jobs. The one where grades do matter. Class of 2012, my good friends. Let's go beat the curve. Congratulations, and go blue.